Alrighty, in today's video I am going to be showing you how I use ChatGPT to create full-blown topical maps for food websites. This is a request from a subscriber to the channel. If you are new to the channel, which I don't blame you, I only have 127 subscribers, so become the 128th, please. In this video here, where I created a topical map in under 30 minutes using ChatGPT for a site I knew nothing about, a service site, Denise left a little comment there that said, I love the content, I ordered one of the services a few months ago. I need to build a topical map, the category for my food blog. Can you show me how to? And I thought, you know what? Of course, let's do it. So this is the video. If you want to follow along and find all the prompts that I use, you can come here to alexmayahans.com. Then make this guy here a bit smaller. And just enter your email address there and you get immediate access to this. And here is everything. Okay, latest videos where I will update you once a week about what's going on in the world of SEO so you can stay sharp. Podcast episodes going on Fridays, and here the library of all my AI prompts and SOPs, all the stuff that I use to save an insane amount of time while running as many sites as I run. This is what we're going to do today. First, I'm going to choose a cuisine that I'm not massively familiar with to show you that you can follow this process to find every single topic there is to be talked about for a niche that you're not massively an expert on, right? Two, I'm going to choose a cuisine that I like to eat, but one that is extra funny because, you know, it's going to be French cuisine. And in French, in case you didn't know, when you say ChatGPT, it sounds like you just said, "Cat, I farted." And if you don't believe me, no, in this post here, it says life is extra surreal, which I, as a surrealist, I love. It's ChatGPT. ChatGPT is cat I farted. And so, because I also love to make a French accent, even though mon français est misérable, let's do French cuisine, yeah? Shall we? Très bon. Let's get started. First prompt. You tell cat I farted, I want to start a website about your cuisine. Okay, in this particular case, I'm going for French recipes. I'd like you to design a thorough navigation of the different dishes by category. And you need to give it a little bit of structure. So just copy this prompt. All of the prompts are on the board here, there, okay? The entire step-by-step process. I'm just gonna guide you here on video. Use a cascading order and add sub-items. What's the main principle here that we are trying to kill two birds with one stone? The most important thing is this we know from the algo leak, but we knew for a long time if you were doing any serious SEO. By the way, if you wonder what the algo leak is, it's this video here. Okay, where basically everything that was discovered on the leak that happened a few weeks ago has been put into sense by the community. And what you want is a site that is very easy to navigate, so people can click through the site and find all the content that they need to find more content. You get more pages per session, you get a happier user, you get a happier rank brain, you rank higher. Beautiful. I wasn't expecting ChatGPT to already give me here some examples of recipes, and this was great because from that, again, first time I do this, I said that on the comments, I've always done this via Ahrefs for the very many food sites that I've done in this life, and I wanted to see how chat would work. So this was me yesterday going for about 45-50 minutes, adding some prompts here based on what I know about the food industry in SEO. And it's going to give you a thorough menu. Okay, you can expand more. Don't expect this to be the ultimate, solution. For instance, here, this is me something like duck, which French cuisine has a lot of recipes. But this is already a very good start. And so what I always do here, I've already done this kind of prompt for all the websites, but normally I enter the website that says, hey, based on all the content that this site has, give me a navigation that's good and comprehensive. You can paste it directly on a Google Doc, and of course remove the little recipes there, and you already have your main navigation. So you can organize it by starters, main, sides, desserts, drinks, etc. I've removed a couple of things here that it adds, which was very interesting to see that ChatGPT already could tell that would be a good addition. Things like, oh, this additional features. So you have a recipe search where you do it by keyword, by ingredients, difficulty, cooking time. So you can add all those things, or you can do it by region. In this particular case, since we're going for the cuisine of a nation, You can also do it by region. And this is all tags that if you like it, right, you like the main ingredient idea of filtering, you like the tag idea of the region or anything else, you can ask Cat I Farted to put it on an additional column in the map as it builds it for you. It's a work of beauty. Let's go through it, you will see it. By the way, if you wonder how it all looks like, it's gonna end up looking like this. Straight up from Cat I Farted. And a little bit of Ahrefs here for the difficulty and global volume, which we're going to cover in a second. But it's going to give you everything. It's going to give you, okay, the main category, this is going to be a soup, it's this soup, it's going to give you the exact URL. Bon français misérable, recipes de start soup, French onion soup, pas de problème, fantastic, wunderbar, that's German. And here you got the title in English and in French, because ideally, when you do a regional cuisine, you want to put the English translation, which is how many, a lot of people will be looking for garlic soup, but they will be looking for French garlic soup. This is the end result that we are looking for. With this, you already know what URL structure to use. It's going to keep your topical map very cleanly flowing, very cleanly structured. You know, you can link up from, you know, lentil soup into your soups, into your starters, but you won't be linking to like some completely random article. You're going to keep your sub ideas, your little clusters of content within the broader map of French cuisine. Very nice and tight. This is another thing that was revealed in the algorithm leak. And for anyone who has been following Corey and doing this kind of testing for a while, we already knew that when you have a core idea on your website and you paint within that, you gain more weight and you attract more. If you start painting out of the lines, that content won't do very well and it will start diluting what your site is about for the Google. Fantastic. So we go through all this other stuff here. It says, oh, user community, forums, sharing, cool. We're gonna delete a few of these different things here. It says, okay, well, add a section for regional recipes. This will always be true if you're doing national cuisine. If you're doing something like keto recipes, then you should know your niche a little bit better and think, what's going to be very important? Oh, well, add a whole section of recipes that are based on this, or I want more breakfast, or I want more recipes under 20 minutes, whatever it is, okay? You should know roughly the direction. Beautiful. Then it's going to give us an expansion of this, and it's going to give us all the different regional recipes, plus some ideas. And this is the same discovery method, right? You get the output, and then you look at that, oh, this gives me an idea. And then you pull from the thread and you ask more and more and more. And you can ask up until you vomit, really, because for as long as you start documenting this on a beautiful map like this is in under an hour, okay? And I got here 100+ recipes and additional things like cheeses, which is very specific to the cuisine, right, in France. And so many more, like this is hundreds of posts that you can create here now when you're thinking like, what recipes should I do? And I didn't even enter into expanding any of this. Cakes, pastries, custard creams, seafood. I only expanded on salads and soups, right, for the purpose of this video. So let's continue here with our list of prompts for Cat I Farted. Remove some sections, cool, so it doesn't go crazy, because then once we have our final list, then we're gonna ask it to expand by section in a table format. That's one of the most important prompts. This is the main prompt, okay? This is where the golden is. So transport this hierarchy of contents, and this is where you need to make sure that what's on the menu as a human makes sense. And if you were a human navigating a site like that, you would be happy, right? So if you look at the menu here, you'll be like, oh, do I like this? Yeah. I can find all the content here. If this site had 1,000 recipes or 2,000 recipes, then yeah, I could find all of them in 2 or 3 clicks based on this menu. Then beautiful. This is the prompt. Transport this hierarchy of content to a table format, keep the ontological hierarchy, and create a URL structure for this. Then you enter your domain name. Under that goes recipes. Break, caveat. If your site is exclusively about recipes, then don't add the / recipes. If your site has the keyword recipes on the domain name, don't add the / recipes. Don't repeat yourself. So if your site is myfavoritefrenchrecipes.com, that's all the site is about, is recipes. Don't start then talking about some random things about like, oh, best places to visit in whatever in France, right? That's not gonna work. Now, if you have an I love France, La France, .com website, then of course you will have a /recipes, /travel, /protesting, things like that, right? Let's say that you have a site about the cuisine, so you're going to talk about more things like herbs, spices, techniques, history, tradition, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to have a dedicated section for recipes. Then do this. Under that goes /recipes as a top level. Then the next idea. And then you give it a couple of examples. So you can always follow this. And these I've done time and time again in lots of client sites and in my own food websites. I'm going to give you a few other tips in how to choose the best keywords out of this humongous list, so you can start ranking for the things that is the easiest to rank for. Mon français misérable, /recipes, /Normandie, and poulet rôti is going to be this one here. Okay, so you tell it, hey, it's going to be a chicken recipe, and I'm basing this on what Cat I Fanted already gave me. Okay, at some point here, I have chicken, and I grab this, so I just follow the same order. My site, recipes, chicken, poulet rôti. Okay, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Sure, here's this thing that will take you ages to do if you don't know these prompts and go insane. This most gorgeous table, all nested out beautifully with the URL already created, so you don't even have to just like copy paste this. In a different video, I'll show you how to implement this on WordPress, but fundamentally you go for pages, okay? And then you make your recipes page a page, this a child page, and then this a page. If you want to do a post because you like comments, because you like to add more work to yourself, you can do some tricks to keep the URL structure like this. If you use pages and sub pages, it's super easy. Okay? Très facile. Now, you want to add more things because, again, we said we want the title, we want the region, and we want a few other things, right? You can go as crazy as you want, but first you want to make sure that the original output that's going to build your map is exactly like this. Sometimes ChatGPT will get creative and give you something a little bit different, right? And we're going to start expanding. So I'm going to get soups, only soups, right? Because it's giving us 3 of each thing. I want 50 plus. I want 100 plus. I don't know how many are there, right? French cuisine, world class. So it's going to have tons and tons and tons and tons of recipes. Cuisine from Luxembourg or from, Monaco, probably not that much because they're very small countries, right? So you want to address this. If you're doing Indian cuisine, good luck. It's a humongous country with millennia-old traditions of food. So you probably need to ask ChatGPT, give me the top 300 of each thing, okay? Very important that you then ask it to give you the region and things like that. I'm going to show you how. So expand. Don't output the whole thing because then it's going to try and it's going to take forever and you're going to go insane. Expand on the first category, whichever it is, and add up to 50, 100, your choice. 50 is a good size input request for an output, so it doesn't go insane and you need to continue generating for an hour. Of the most popular, whatever your cuisine, whatever the item is, of all time. Okay, and it says if there aren't that many in your knowledge base, add as many as you know. And it says, beautiful, yeah, here's everything. And right away, it gave me a truckload of soups. 70% of them I've never had in my life. And now we're going to say, hey, add a title and ensure the recipe title appears first in the English translation, then in the original. And so it did just that, and it gave us this thing here. Fantastic. And then I said, okay, add another column and tell me the region all of these ones belong to. Okay. And it did so. You can probably add both prompts at the same time, but normally when I start creating a table and it's a complex output like this, I like to go step by step to make sure that the output doesn't go insane, right? And any breaks, because sometimes it does. It's gonna give us everything. Says using the exact same format, let's go for whatever is next, as many as you have in your knowledge base, and you just continue. Ask. It's gonna give you this entire humongous thing, and then you probably want to check the difficulty on this. And this is the next step. As you finish this entire list, from the title column, extract the English name only and append French. Because I know a lot of people will be looking for French goat cheese salad, right? Or French lentil salad, because they don't know the name of French lentil salad. Like, I don't know the name, but if I'm building a blog about French recipes, I'll be like, yo, this is a French lentil salad, makes sense. But also, if I have lentils at home and I'm doing a theme culinary night, or la France, then I want to use my lentils, and so I need to ask what's a good French lentil salad that I can make. That's how I'm gonna type it as a user, and then that becomes a keyword, and then the keyword I just dump it here, and it tells me, oh, French potato salad, which probably has a name in French, but I don't know because I'm ignorant. Okay, that's fine. It's gonna tell me that this has a tremendous amount of search volume, but it's more competitive. Okay. But, you know, French chicken salad is looking good. French endive salad, French rice salad is looking good. French artichoke salad is looking good. You know, French celery root salad is looking good, right? Keyword difficulty, if you stay under 10 or so, if you have a brand new blog with low DR, you probably rank very well. It means that most people in the top 10 don't really have many backlinks, which is the single most important thing for rank, by the way. Don't tell anyone that I told you. And then you can export this list, do a quick VLOOKUP, and just add all the numbers there for the ones that Ahrefs actually has numbers for. You can sort this out by difficulty and start going, okay, out of all the salads, let me do the easy ones first. Start building out my sub topical authority within salads, within French cuisine. I'm gonna do 10 salads out of the 50, the 10 easiest ones. And then maybe you do 10 soups, and then maybe you do 10 of something else. And then you've covered your French starters very well. Instead of going for the list of 300, you do 30, but you do the easiest 30th one within starters, and then you move to another one. Bonus tip, if you got this far into the video, you probably have noticed this doesn't cover anything about roundups. And the reason for that is because it's just very easy, right? So for each one of these parent pages, so for /recipes, /starters, /soups, you are going to do a most popular recipes of all time, right? So most popular French recipes of all times, and that's gonna be a roundup. And the way that you can do that is then you go back to the list of all of these, right? And you go by search volume. And so if you're doing the most popular French recipes of all time, you can go here by search volume after you have all of them, and you pick the 100 French recipes that have the highest amount of global search volume. And that's the list that you dump as a roundup on your /recipes for the top 100 French recipes of all times. And you can divide that by sections, and you do like mains, these 5, beef mains, these 5, you know, seafood mains, these are the 5, salads, these 10, whatever it is. Then you link those little snippets to the full recipe because you've already created it. So basically what you do is you build the site from the ground up. You start creating all the recipes, and then you move up, and then you do your recipe roundup for salads, and then you go and you do your recipe roundup for starters, and then your recipe roundup for the top French recipes of all times. And then you can do the same for each one of them of these, right? Best beef recipes, best seafood recipes, right? And it's always to be French whatever recipes. That's the keyword that you target. So French, well, in this particular case, will be Normandy recipes or Provence recipes, right? And that's what goes in the /Provence. And you can base that on whatever top 20. If you ask for the region, right, then you can sort this out by region. Says, okay, now let's sort this out, and I'm gonna pick all the recipes from Provence that I've done. I've maybe done 5 out of the 50 that this thing has given me, and that's the ones that I'm gonna show up in my roundup. You can show all of them realistically for regions because there won't be that many normally, and you can just add a little snippet even if you don't have the recipe fully developed in your blog for that. But you can sometimes rank with the roundup. Now, something extra, okay, something extra that is gonna depend on your niche in the particular cuisine that you're doing is to go beyond recipes within the cuisine. So in French cuisine, we know, for instance, they love cheese. So we do the Spanish, we do the Italian, most of tomato Europe love cheeses as well, right? And for instance, olive oil is a big one in the South, also butter, right? French have loads of sauces. What you do is then you go and you ask Cat I Farted to give you specific things. So give me a list of the most popular whatever it is, right? So imagine that you're doing Indian cuisine, you might go for spices, or you might go for different types of masala blends, right? Whatever it is. And use the same format. Don't call them recipe because they're not recipes. So just give me whatever it is, mon français misérable, and then I'm going to do /cheese. Then the region, French and English names, everything the same. And it did just that. So now if I want to do a little article about brie, where it comes from, the texture, what's good to combine with, etc., and I want to develop my entire cluster of French cheese, I know exactly how to do it. Then if I'm later on doing an article on a recipe that calls for Roquefort, I can link the ingredients to my cheese knowledge base. And if you're a fan of the cuisine, of course you will want to read more, right? So through internal links, you get more clicks, you distribute your page rank, you rank better, and then you go from an abstract concept of a topical map into how is this going to become a website that really serves the user, because that's what we're after here. Okay, and then you can just continue doing the same, right? It says, hey, what other things not listed before in any of these are unique to your cuisine that we should be included in our site? And then it gave me even more. Cold cuts, of course, charcuterie, right? And then pastries and baked goods. Of course, wines and spirits, Then, okay, it's probably going to go by region, then the spirits, and then how, do we create articles about those as well? Do we continue expanding the knowledge base? Herbs and spices, of course, do we continue expanding the knowledge base on this? And from there, you start adding more things into your menu to make sure that you continue capturing the hierarchy of the content that you build in here. That's how you build a topical map for a food site that goes very deep and gives you pretty much unlimited ideas for your website. If you want more videos like this, you can go to the comments of this very video and leave me one of these and tell me, Alex, want you to do that. And if you at the same time that you want to do that, you want to hit that little subscribe button that will be there, then it'll be fantastic. And I'll make the video. Okay? Thank you very much. I hope you had fun playing with Cat I Farted, and God bless. Cheers.